Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heart Center Tarot. Welcome to Sisters of the Mystical Tarot with my wonderful sisters. I've got Sherry from Voices from the Swamp. I've got Sharon from Strawberry Rhubarb. I have Val from Dragonfly Crystals and Next Level Channeling. Aley is running a little behind. She's just finishing up another show, so she's going to join us as soon as she can.
That reader's fantastic, hey?
Oh, Michelle, amazing. Amazing. Yeah. Really, really good.
Yeah.
So just kind of going to go over some of the business end of things. And that is in the description of the video, you'll find everyone's link, Sherry, Sharon, Val, and Aley. And so I would ask you to go over and make sure that you do a like, share, and subscribe on their channels as well as on my channel. Look into memberships. And I'll tell you why memberships are important. They help us offset the cost of doing these free readings and sharing information with you and so on and so forth. So there are different levels of memberships, everything from, in my case, from $4.99 a month all the way up. So there's something in there for everyone. And none of us are getting rich off of YouTube. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm certainly not. I'm on a fixed income. It costs me money every month to have the channel and to be on here and so on. So that's one of the reasons that we talk about membership. And we mention it several times during the show because there's always new people coming in.
Yeah. And for those of us who don't have memberships yet, we have links in our description boxes to make a direct donation to Venmo or PayPal, which helps tremendously. So
exactly. So we are not doing political reads. The Sisters of the Mystical Tarot is designed so that we will pick a topic and we will discuss the topic. We ask you if you have questions that you would like us to read on, that you please put it in the chat before the show. The cutoff is at noon Pacific Standard Time on Wednesday. So each one of us, if you go to our community pages, just go in there. In the comments under whatever video or whatnot, you can post your question, and then it'll go to the person who is hosting that week, and then we'll take it from there. So we do not take questions from the chat.
Only from the comments.
Only from the comments. And if you wanted us to read on your question for next Wednesday, just make sure that you put it in the comment section of our community tabs. So that having been said, I think I covered the business end of things. Well, I hope I didn't forget anything.
No.
And as Book says, hurrah for all the crones and a fixed income.
That's
absolutely.
Right. That's moi.
Yes. That is many
you
of
may
us.
still work full time, but it's a fixed income. It doesn't change.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I get the same amount every payday to the penny.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I understand that, some people can't afford it. That totally understandable. And, this is going to sound harsh, but to those of you that know us, you'll understand what I mean. Okay. We don't owe you a free reading, right? We do this because we want to. We're not obligated. We don't owe you anything. So, might be might be worthwhile to remember that. Okay.
Speaking
All right.
about speaking about free readings, where Ally's we're celebrating her 5,000 subscribers. I've read for what was her name, Teresa.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, what a lovely lady! We end up
I know.
chatting for an hour.
I know.
Just so
I know.
sweet. Anyways, that was a great experience.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Don't
Yeah,
love
she
it.
went-
Same with Ginger and me. We wound up talking for 2 hours
Yes.
for a 30-minute
Here's
reading.
Aley.
I did the reading in 30 minutes, and then we wound up talking for
Allie.
2 hours afterwards.
Hi, everybody. Hi.
Hi, Allie.
Hi.
Yeah. And so yeah, thank you, Artist Liz. I
Yes, I noticed
absolutely.
that comment.
I totally agree with you. And thank you, Mickey. Yes. Sometimes we have to be willing to take the chance and say the thing that nobody wants to hear. So there you go.
Yes.
All right. So what I thought that we would talk about today was looking forward into the future, let's say 2050. What are the history books going to say about this particular time? How are the 2020s going to be remembered? Yeah. Oh, rose blue, don't worry about it. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. So, Sherry, we'll start with you. You're in the hot seat.
You may regret that. You do have this marked not for children, right?
Yeah.
Not safe for work environment. I think most of the history books are going to simply have a statement of OMG, WTF was going on.
Yeah.
Because I think that when we get through all of this and we get back on track of where we're supposed to be going, I think history is going to have a very harsh look at us,
Yes.
at what we almost allowed to take place again globally, which is very similar to what happened in the 30s and the 40s. But maybe worse because we have social media and they didn't.
Yes.
So things get passed around, spread around so much faster. You have the explosion of digital and electronic AI, all that stuff that's happening and expanding and developing so fast that governments haven't been able to keep up with protective laws to protect the citizens from. Not designed to limit your voice, but to protect others. Nobody should have the right to list your name and address and tell people this person voted against this or did that. Everybody go attack. And that's what's happening. Doxing, they call it doxing.
Yeah.
And that needs to have very strict repercussions added to it, in my opinion. Just my opinion. I think that history will also step back and call to light those who worked so hard to defeat the dark that's trying to take over right now. And I think that people that are getting badmouthed and ostracized now will be held up later as true beacons of light and true leadership and forward thinkers and willing to face the consequences in order to move that that thought and that way of being forward. And those that are on the wrong side or on the bad side, or however you want to put it,
Yeah.
of how things are going, I think that they will be even more vilified in the history books than they even are now. You know, it's
think
it's
so.
it's not going to be pretty.
No.
And hopefully, if we move forward in an honest way, it will be honest. You know, Germany went through that after World War II. German citizens, their hardest thing, from what I've heard, you know, people talk about, and what I've read, was accepting the reality of what they allowed to happen, of turning their backs to it, of pretending it didn't exist. And they determined that we'll never let it happen again. And so far they've been able to keep that promise, you know, and it's cost them. But yeah, we've got a lot of learning to do still, and a lot of hard work ahead of us. But
Absolutely. Well,
history will be harsh, but it will be truthful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How about you, Val?
I have a little more metaphysical take on it. And I think that they will be, in 25 years, 26 years, they're going to look at it as the reason why, the systemic reason why it had to happen worldwide. And I think it'll be like labeled worldwide upheaval for the clearing. And I think that they're going to look at it in this way, in the way in which that it, in 25, 26 years, I really believe we'll be living in a more harmonious world where it is essentially borderless by way of, not actually borderless, but then borderless in the fact that you can just freely travel everywhere, because there's no need for that. We're all working as one world instead of one country, this country, that country. We're one world, because by then we'll be traveling freely, interstellar space, doing things like that. The ETs will be here walking around, because they are here anyway, but they're going to be visible. All this is going to shift why we went through what we went through. Our whole entire enlightened look at what happened, and what we won't look at it like in the micro. We'll look at it in the macro, the big picture of it, and what that had to do to ferret out all that disassociation with harmony. And when we want harmony, but we didn't know there was that underlying stuff. When it had to come up. So I think that they're going to talk about how society's social interactions shifted everything on the one side of the polarity and on the other side of the polarity, because here are the light workers doing the meditations worldwide, organizing systems that brought light to the world. And here's the true social blah, blah, and Putin's regime, and, China, disinformation, blah, blah, blah. But the powerful tool of that, I think, is the human heart. And I think they're really going to start teaching kids in school how to value human beings, human life, and how to have empathy for each other, so that by the time they get this age, they don't make bad choices that harm anyone, because we're on one planet. And I think they'll have the also the weather, the shifting climatic stuff. I think they'll have some of our environmental situation at hand. So I think they'll wrap it all up, talking about everything like that, and not in a judgmental way, because they will have a more enlightened view of it by then. That's all what I have to say.
Yeah, I think you're right. Children are not born racist. They're not born with prejudice, and they're not born with hatred. Those are all things that are taught. They learn by example. So we have to be rather careful in the things that we say and do, because they may not be able to verbalize it, but they're watching and they're taking it in.
Yeah, they
So,
are.
thank you, everyone, for joining us. There's 90 of you in here, and oh my goodness gracious,
Wow.
thank you to each and every one of you. And even though, I may not be able to get to you individually to say hello, but yeah, you're all getting a big hug from me and the ladies, I'm sure. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Yes, totally, Aley. Yeah. Okay. So going around the circle, Sharon. What do you think?
I was thinking all of today in the vein of what Val was talking about what it will be like in 25 years' time. And the big thing was about working with extraterrestrials, and that we'll be having a lot of their technology and that sort of thing. And we'll be operating more at a higher vibrational level. We'll look upon this time now of age of the first thing I wrote down was the great upheaval. And it was, things had to blow up, like the Tower card, in order to rebuild. And I think so. For example, I think the former guy, I won't say his name, I think he had to come onto the scene because if Hillary had been elected, it would have been more the status quo and nothing kind of would have changed, and things needed to be changed. When he said he was going to drain the swamp, and get all the swamp monsters, I mean, of course he was projecting, it was about himself and his cronies, but it uncovered sort of the nasty. We always knew there was nasty things in politics and so on, and the greed and whatever, but we had no idea as to what degree. So things had to be blown up in order to make it right, to rebuild what we really, really want to see. They'll look back on this as the age of diversity, but also the age of great divisiveness.
Yes.
The age of misinformation, the spreading of misinformation by social media, the runaway train of social media. I think also look at the era of where intelligence is not respected. Where people like Trump and his cronies look down on the intellectuals and because they're not very smart themselves. I've never let the facts get in the way of a good scandal.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think 25 years from now, hopefully, as Val said, that we are looking at ourselves as world citizens, and as she mentioned, having no borders, that we're all in. Example, the climate changes, and also people will look back 25 years from now from all the natural disasters that we've had at this time, because we've not taken care of the earth, and that we have to do that. We have to face that, and we have to face that as a world population. They'll look at this time as a time of very low vibration. The energy was very low, it's stuck in 3D, whereas we'll be more, and that this was the part of when ascension starts. The light work is coming in and so on to counteract the low vibration of people that want to destroy our society. What else was I going to say about that? No, I guess that was about it. Oh yeah, I also have down here the massive course correction.
Mhm.
Towards more coming from the heart and doing what's right, not what's right for your bank account. That people are going to really turn against greed. But of course, it'll be time of the phoenix rising above the ashes of destruction, the fires of destruction.
Exactly.
So I think that's how people are going to look back at this, that a lot of upheaval and social and spiritual changes, and taking Mother Earth seriously, that we have to take care of her.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, Arthur.
Hi, Arthur. Nice
Here.
to see you.
Hi, Arthur.
And Aley.
So there's a word that describes a time period, and it is a German word, and the word is Zeitgeist. It's Zeitgeist. You can never know what the zeitgeist is in your own time period, because it's always upon reflection of what people will look back at. I think so this is very telling. I get poop and I get punched. So we're gonna punch the poopers, the people that have really, and so the zeitgeist that comes up when I'll be 95 years old when this happens, I'll be going, yep, I was there, just like the ladies that that were there when all the other stuff happened in their own time period. But I looked up some climate stuff, and if things don't change, some of the news that we're going to get is we used to be able to go outside on our vacations.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can't do that anymore, and it was so nice back in the 20s when you could go outside, you could take a vacation somewhere, you could go swimming in the water and it wasn't polluted. I could just see all of this, because even now there are places that I've been to in my lifetime that are all cordoned off now. You can't go in, and like there's a place that it's the petrified forest in Arizona. You can't go in there anymore because everybody ripped off all the petrified wood. And so now you have to go to a museum to see a lot of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And we already know that it was like 108 in Las Vegas today. And so we're talking about, is it going to be 140? I mean, what is it going to be? It's going to be very dangerous, and you can't go out.
It's cold here. Are you cold there where you are? Oh, it's
not me.
It's
really?
cold. I've been lighting my fire every day.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my.
Well, when it was raining, it was a bit chilly, but we've got the sun out today. So the other thing I think we're going to find out is that there's been a lot of subliminal messages that have been in our purview that we're not hearing. And I know that when I was a little kid, that happened in the movie theaters, where they would flash quickly Coke, popcorn, and you didn't know they were doing it. And you would say, "Oh, I think I'll go get some Coke." And we get that from the Orange Man all the time. He just repeats poopy stuff over and over again. And I think we're going to believe what people tell you. Yes, Coke. That's right, Arthur. Yes. Believe what people tell you, because you got to listen to them. It was a time when people weren't listening, and this could never happen again.
Yeah,
but it has. So there's two more points I want to make, and then I'll shut my mouth. But I always call myself a global citizen. I don't talk about where I'm from usually, unless someone really wants to nail down where I'm from. But I'm an earthling. I'm an earthling and a global citizen. And I love that. But if you want to really know what's going to happen if things don't change real quickly, then read Rachel Maddow's book, Prequel. It's all the stuff that happened prior to Hitler.
I just started to read it this morning.
Oh, yeah, very, very good. Yeah. And it will happen again under Hitler if we let it. So, yeah, we'll be reading about that, and that will be the zeitgeist. So
Yeah.
thank you, Marina. It was a great
Great
topic.
topic. Yeah,
Yeah.
great. topic.
Wow. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. I think that, yeah, all of you are very, very right in that we are at a time basically of our own making,
Mhm.
especially when it comes to like climate change and things like that. We're all participants in everything that has gone on. And I think if we look back, I know for myself personally, I think, I should have paid more attention to politics sooner. I
Yeah.
should have been more educated
Mhm.
about certain things sooner. I should have listened when they first started talking about the ozone and all that. I should have tried harder, a little harder than I did, to not have the impact that I know.
You see, that's where Trump has made us pay attention to politics now.
Yes, absolutely. I've said several times that I think, Trump was definitely a necessary evil.
Yeah.
We needed someone to kind of, lift the rock and show where all the maggots were hidden, for entertainment purposes only. And if it was anyone but him, it may not have had the same impact. But being the personality that he is, he was and is the right person for the job. So while I don't think very much of him as a human being, I do recognize that on a soul level, this was his mission.
Mhm.
So that I can respect that on a soul level. It
Mhm.
doesn't mean that I have to
No.
like him as a person. I'm still human. I still have, feelings and
Well,
so on.
so many lives being lost, but
Absolutely. There
It
was
cracks
so
me
many.
up because they have people in there getting after Dr. Fauci,
I know.
and it's him that killed all the people.
Oh my God. The
I'll be
thing
right back.
MTD said to Dr. Fauci was just horrific. Horrific.
Cocoa
Yeah, you
Puff.
wouldn't call him
Yeah.
doctor.
I mean, it
No.
just,
No.
and then they're all, well, the general lady from Georgia,
Mhm.
shut
Mhm.
up. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jamie Raskin, of course, was fantastic as usual.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gentleman, and he knows
Yes.
exactly how to keep his cool and state what has to be stated.
Yes.
A
And
constitutional
I think
scholar. He really understands inside and out.
Well, there's the
Who was doing-
anti-intellectualism that
Yes.
shows up.
Yeah,
You got Jamie Raskin and you
Yeah.
got Marjorie
It's
Taylor
like-
Greene. I mean,
The juxtaposition of the
Yeah. awful.
totally.
I think one of the things that
Yeah.
we as a people globally will look back on is the lack of truth in this era. The fact that people were willing to shun truth and accept the lie,
Yeah.
Yes.
and that leadership was willing to lie willy-nilly just so they could stuff their pockets or get their way or hang on to power. And I think that for marginalized people, for women, minorities, third world countries, I think in the future they're going to be able to look back and say, I can't believe we treated these different sets of people
Yes.
the way that we did.
Well, it's always been that
and
way with anti-intellectualism. I'm sorry, Val.
Yeah.
No, you're right. That's really
Yeah.
true. And
Right.
here's
Yeah.
the thing: all these people that are, their level of education or their level of awareness is at a point where they could be manipulated by a Jim Jones or by a David Koresh, or they are literally there are those people that should have been in a higher educational system, and they were not taught.
That's the long range plan of Republicans. People on the right was the down
Correct.
of
It
America.
was really right. It was really a programmed situation to create people who would be sheep to follow, and those people slipped through the cracks. And it was systemic because they were brought up in that white nationalist, that kind of situation. So it's their background, but they could have been, as children, taught. And then they would have had a critical thinking come into play where, but how does this level up with, love everyone and the Ku Klux Klan or whatever? I mean, none of it makes any sense. But so I think the bigger picture is that in the next 26 years, we're going to have so many shifts and changes in what is so that we won't even look at a microscope about those people that were left in the dark, because they're going to have huge inventions. AI is just one of them, but the CRISPR technology, the medical breakthroughs, we are going to have the same kind of, or no, even more than when we had in the Industrial Revolution, where we got the computers, we have machines, we had this, we had that, we had so many inventions, we didn't know what to do with them all.
That's right.
And now we're going to have the same kind of thing. This is going to be an era of 26 years of crazy growth in everything. And we're going to go, oh, where did that come from?
Crazy growth in consciousness, in connecting with consciousness.
Correct. It's going to be growth and awareness, crazy growth and connection with everyone.
Yeah. What do they call it? The quantum.
Quantum. It's going to be
quantum string theory.
The quantum field. Yeah.
In the quantum field that we're all connected to.
And we all thought the speed of light was the fastest you can go. No, it's the quantum, connecting with the consciousness, your thought, boom, you're there.
It is. It's exactly that. And that is exactly right. And so
we will be
to be connected to all this information, basically, without, and we probably will realize it by 26 years from now. But it's just going to be, I think, just a night and day thing, and I hope we're all here to see it. Because who doesn't?
Yeah,
I'm going to be 95.
Yeah,
I'll be in my
things.
Am I going to be your age 95? Yes, apparently I am.
Yeah, that we need to that we do need to bring back, such as acting civilized.
Yeah.
Such as critical thinking.
Yes.
Such as realizing that we are one community and we look after each other, and that we think in terms of we instead of me. We've gone to the point where it's me, it's about me, it's not about anyone but me. I'm going to get mine so that you can't take. There's so much selfishness and
greed,
entitlement that is out there that needs to stop, and that is a learned behavior.
It is,
right?
That, and we won't be afraid to tell history as it is, as it was. Tell the truth of history instead of trying to cover it up or pretty it up or make it like it wasn't quite that bad. It's that's part of the dumbing down of the education that Al was talking about.
What we have now that they didn't have in the past, a lot of is we can instantly share information, right? We all have instant access to what is happening.
Be right back.
Okay. And that there needs to be education there, and Sherry's right. There needs to be truth. You need to recognize it. It may be ugly, it may be disturbing, but truth is truth. And if you try to whitewash it, you're never going to learn from it. So it has to be examined, it has to be accepted. You take responsibility for what you take responsibility for, and you go forward with the mindset that, okay, bygones are bygones. We work together. We move forward together, not in the particular groups and so on.
And I think by then we'll realize we're all connected.
Exactly.
It'd be silly not to move
Yes.
as yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. This is where we are part of the problem, and we were therefore being part of the solution. And I think all this is happening now so that we come to terms with the fact that, holy shit, it's not just about me. It's
exactly.
I know, shocking as that is.
Shocking, no, that is.
The problem is that there are people that will always be contrary because they believe. I remember once that I was writing on Facebook, I hope that my student loans get forgiven. This was a number of years ago. Yes. And somebody just went right up one side of me and down the other because they didn't get any free handouts from the government. And there's always going to be contrary opinions.
Well, that would
I
be
would do the same thing.
Half full. I mean, then they wouldn't have learned in grade school that being gracious and being thankful for everything is your cachet, is your way to move through life that gets you all abundance. So that would have been ferreted out by 26 years from now in the school system.
I hope so.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yes.
No. From your lips to God's ear. Yeah.
It doesn't mean you can't have different ideas. Nobody has to think alike at all. But to attack someone for their idea wouldn't be the kosher thing. Just go and do your own thing. If you have a different way and approach, you just get up and go do your own thing. You don't stand around and complain about somebody else because they're part of you creating something different. So you can go off and do this different thing. It's a beautiful thing.
But you see, though, that we're preaching to the choir here because most everybody that's here agrees with us.
Yeah. Well, that's
And actually, what did Arthur say that's so wonderful? He said a lot of those people, their glasses are cracked.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
There's no water in it. It fell out.
Right. And it will never be
near the top. It's not at the top, and you put too much ice in it.
Exactly.
Sometimes that is a part of the human condition, right? Where we're all going to move forward, and even as we move forward, there's still going to be those who are a little more positive, a little more encouraging, a little more this, and there's going to be those that are, just a little contrary. And I think that you kind of need to have a balance of both, right?
Just not so diabolical.
No, exactly. We can disagree with each other. I may personally think that your point of view is probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to pick up a weapon and I want to kill you. It just means
it used to be that you could have a discussion and just have a discussion and bounce off different opinions off each other. It doesn't mean that you have to
respect everyone's ideas.
Exactly. You're going to be, or listen to them. Okay, I understand what you're saying. Have you ever thought of this?
Right.
So you're not trying to win them over. It's just a discussion.
Exactly. Exactly. We're more and more, I think we tend to see things in terms of right, wrong.
The duality. Yeah, absolutely.
Total duality. And my opinion is more important than your opinion because it's my opinion. And a lot of people can't get their minds around the concept that, okay,
Yeah.
if you're able to stand up and say, listen, I need to be heard and I have something to say, and it's my right to say that.
Mhm.
Why does that right why is it not being given to me? If
Right.
you have the right, then I have the same right.
Yeah.
But no, it doesn't.
No.
It doesn't matter. That's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what
And
it is.
just think, in 25, 26 years, if we actually start educating our children as they enter school now, in 25, 26 years, we're going to have an entire generation of young adults who can think outside the box and critically
Yes.
and logically put things together
However,
and take things apart and
Barb was
accept
saying-
the fact that we're all the same, that we're
Right.
all rising together.
But
you know.
remember, Barb lives in Florida,
Mhm.
and they are not allowed to teach SEL, which she says
Yes.
is social emotional learning.
Learning. Yeah.
And so you can't get that in every school. And so
No.
until you can,
Yeah.
it's a moot point because people move all over the place. And
Exactly.
you know, it's just crazy.
It
And,
is
and
crazy.
you know, it's totally crazy that
We
you
spend
can't
so much time on that social emotional learning.
yeah,
the
Yeah.
different
kindness,
intelligences.
compassion.
Yeah, different intelligences, and also critical thinking. I think
Critical
we've had
thinking.
this
Yes.
discussion before, and you also getting kids to take understand the perspective of the other person.
Of
Put
the other
yourself in
person,
their
yeah.
shoes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
empathy.
Yeah.
Just simple empathy.
Yeah, empathy. Exactly.
Gosh. I mean,
Yeah.
people nowadays are, it's me, I'm the only one on the road, and they won't even look when they change lanes. They
Yeah.
just go,
I
I'm
deserve to turn here, so
I'm in
here
a
I go. Yeah.
pickup truck, and I'm going to move over, and everybody get out of my way.
Yes, Teacher Barbara said,
Oh.
character education. That's right. Also, we teach mindset.
Mhm.
I
You're right,
I'm
Pardon.
not casting aspersions on pickup trucks, guys. I live in Nevada, so there's a lot of pickup trucks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I live in Louisiana. I think how many we got.
Yeah. How does one teach what one does not
Right.
know?
They
I
don't.
think
It
yes,
instills
you're right.
others with their belief system, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. And I think one of the things that we can look at is we're not going to be able to change everyone's perspective.
Right.
But the more that we have, the more information that
I
we
am
have
hopeful.
available through education,
Mhm.
these kids can go to school. They can learn more in school so that it opens up the conversation with the parents when they go home and say,
does.
guess what I learned in school today?
Exactly.
And it would start a conversation. If nothing else, it
Right.
starts a conversation,
It does.
right? It's like that. Yeah, I learned math one way. When my son went to school, he learned math a completely different way.
Right.
It doesn't mean that it was better, doesn't mean that it was worse or wrong. It was a different way.
We don't
to do
teach one
this.
method anymore. We teach many different strategies. So if you get stuck, you can use another strategy.
But you
Yeah.
know what? I mean, the basis of a lot of this dark stuff is fear.
Yes.
And once they start
Absolutely.
really working on the security of a family and their financial situation so that we can all be able to live the way that we should and not be under the poverty line, then that lessens that fear and that feeling
Yes.
that, that aggression against someone else because you want to blame somebody for your situation. And I think
Yeah.
that will take a big slice out of that energy and calm things down. And then at school, when the kids are not taught that fear programming, they're going to evolve, and they'll, like you said, they'll evolve the parents.
That's what our
Because what causes
our
fear?
mindset
Fear is
teaching
usually
is all
caused
about.
by ignorance.
Yes.
You don't know,
spirits
you don't
hear it.
understand, so you
False,
hear it.
false evidence appearing real.
Mhm.
Fear.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
I have to say that going back to 1984, when Ronald Reagan's was president, I call him Ronnie Reagan's. He got
I
rid
like the
of
jelly bellies.
Yes.
yes,
Yellow
he
bellies.
got rid of the news idea of having an opposing opinion. Dumped it, completely dumped it. You have to have a point counterpoint
Yeah.
because that's what critical thinking is
That's what it
teaching us.
is.
He got rid of it. So you could look at the downfall of our system
Starting
of
with
news
Reagan.
starting with Reagan.
Yes.
Mhm.
Because if you do not have
Yeah.
those two sides presented to you in a
Right.
news broadcast,
Yeah.
you are not getting free
Yes.
news. You're not getting
right.
free information that presents
Yeah.
everything.
Well, it's the
You
same way
cannot-
that we grew up. It was like, okay, are you Republican or Democrat? Well, my mother was this, so I'm this. Are you Catholic or well, my mother was this. And if you live in that and you perpetuate it, then nothing ever changes. I remember telling my students,
My
don't
daddy
you
voted that way, and my granddaddy voted that way, and his daddy voted that way.
There's a group of people, our parents. I know Marina was saying that, and someone in the chat did as well. Our parents never told us who they voted for. It was a
No.
private
That's true.
matter.
That's
I don't
right.
think
Mine
they
didn't
told,
either.
my mom didn't tell my dad, and my dad
Yep.
didn't tell my mom. It was
Yep.
sacred and
was sacred.
secret. Your
Yes.
ballot, your vote is secret, and they wouldn't tell anyone.
Well, I didn't know how much my father made either. I didn't
No,
have
the
any idea.
salary, I never knew what they made.
No.
It
Mm-mm.
was a complete secret.
Yep.
We never knew.
Yeah. And
So-
why would you need to know? What
Oh.
difference does it make
Right.
if
So
I
you could
know
go
how
to
you
school and act like your parents made a lot of money. Probably.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. Well, my mom makes this.
You know,
people
I
are
hate
going
to be
assume
negative
what they're
though.
going to assume.
I'd like to think that things will be better. I really would. And I'd like to think that we could work at that and that it will be better. I just don't know if that's going to happen.
You know how
Because-
it's going to happen, Aley, is with all this energy coming on the planet and all these
Mhm.
people shifting and changing,
Mhm.
and with all this new technology, along with the ET's arrival of we're here, you know, they're here anyway. They're here on the planet.
Right.
Oh yeah.
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 The shift in, oh my God, what there is no religion that is accurate. Our world history isn't even what it should be. It's not accurate. Nothing is the way it was. So
Yeah.
there goes all the religious dogma down
Yeah.
to the to be
Right.
buried. Let's
Bottom
go.
of the
There'll be a
toilet
lot
where
of
it
people
belongs.
with
So-
cognitive
So
dissonance.
it's another breaking down. There'll
Yeah.
be another breaking down of those
I was
things.
listening to Dr. Stephen Greer making that point
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think once the ETs make their public announcement, yes, we're here. We've been here for eons,
Yeah.
and now we're going to help y'all get your
For us,
group together because you just can't
Can
seem
you
to do
even
it.
imagine? Those people
Well-
are never going to believe it. They're going to want to kill them because
That's
they're
true.
it's a lot.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's the
Check his
government,
balance.
you know, the power. Actually, it's beyond the government. It's, you know, presidents didn't know about this, but
Right.
the groups that were spreading that fear mongering that the
Yeah.
ETs are here to, you know, they're not good. Do you know that I found out today that from Dr. Stephen Greer, you know, Roswell, those
Yeah.
flying saucers that crashed,
Mhm.
we caused it. The military come out with
The radar.
yeah,
Yep.
that's right. New radar that interfered with their you know,
Guidance system or whatever.
guidance system. Yeah,
they
exactly.
they
Yeah.
link up to their ship.
based on
Yeah,
magnetism, you know, yeah.
the magnetics.
EMF. It
Yeah.
interfered with your yeah.
Wow.
So I didn't know that. I thought, well, see,
Yeah.
but yeah, so there's that mentality.
Yeah.
And I also didn't know that Dr. Stephen Greer, he was as a young
Surgeon.
doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was talking to Clinton.
Mhm.
Advising him.
Well, Clinton was warned that if Clinton did expose things,
Yeah.
he'd be the JFK way.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
he got
Exactly.
warned off. He got warned off.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. And there was somebody else he was working with as well. But that, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The military complex, or whatever you
Well,
want to
yeah,
call it.
Stephen Greer has had to watch his back for
Oh,
years and years.
Absolutely.
Because they
Yeah.
just want to
Absolutely.
get rid of him. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Brilliant man.
Yeah. I've known about him for a long, long time, but I've
Mhm.
just started to listen to his, like I saw an interview today.
Oh,
He's fascinating.
he is.
Yes.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty bright man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I have to say,
Yeah.
though, I don't know if I'd go so far as to call an ET to visit because I don't mean to fly in the sky and so you can take pictures and whatnot. But I mean, when
Oh,
you're
no.
you
I want
really
to take
pay
your hand.
attention to a lot of visitations, their energy is so much higher than ours and so much different. It feels like you're going to die. You're going to leave your body, and that's how high their frequency is. And so we really have a hard time not going to fear in that space.
I think
And
we'll get there though.
yeah, absolutely. We definitely will. And we're raising our vibration now also.
Yeah.
And they have the ability to cause that fear, but also the ability to calm
Calm you down. Yeah.
you down. And yeah, so
Absolutely.
yeah.
Our energy will come up.
Mhm.
Theirs will come down a little, and we'll meet in the middle.
Yeah.
And speaking of energy and being with other people, for example, I was doing reading for a young friend. I mean, she's 32. She's young to me.
Yes, baby.
The baby. She came into the reading just distraught and just anyways, whatever. And just me when we did the reading, the card said exactly, I said, you already knew this stuff. Otherwise you wouldn't have come and asked me the question. You already knew.
Yeah.
The cards are
I
just
find that
bothering
that's
it.
true of every reading almost.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you know what I also find is a lot of people that I'm doing work with, they are already so progressed and so far along. And even if they don't really even know anything and they're just starting out, they're already there. It's like,
Yeah.
wow.
Well,
I just don't know it.
what I was going to say is I think, the people that are in this state, just by us being calm and sending them, love and healing energy, by the end of the reading, she was in a totally different space.
Yes, absolutely.
Totally different.
That's true.
I will say that the way that we do readings, the messages that we give, it's so much nicer to be able to at least find a positive spin on every message, because there are people out there that have channels that come out and say, well, this one's going to die, or you're not, you got creatures around you, or you got, all
The old demon creature thing, that is so.
Send me $50
It
and I can
bothers
get it
me.
away from you.
It
I
bothers
never
me.
do that.
Yeah.
I click off the channel and go somewhere else because that is just baloney.
It really
Well,
bothers
also,
me.
because I knew this woman, I said, this is your pattern. Like, when are you going to stop getting into relationships? You've got to heal yourself first.
First, that's right.
I'm kicking your butt here.
Yeah, very
Totally.
true.
Yeah.
That's cool, Sharon. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
And speaking of readings, we
Yes.
all do
That's what I'll do
personal
private
readings, right? And if any of you out there, if you're thinking you'd like to get more information about a personal reading and book a personal reading, by all means, reach out to whoever you feel you resonate with, and
Absolutely.
they can let you know. You could set something up, and you're when you do that personal reading, it's someone who is able to hone in on your energy, give you the information that you need so that you can move forward, tell you what might be hiding in your blind spot that you're not always aware of and whatnot. So these are paid readings, but worth it.
Well worth it.
Well worth it.
Yeah.
well worth it. So, yeah, just reach out, get in touch. For those of us that have websites, go to our websites, take a look, see what other people have said about the readings and so on.
Mhm.
And don't ever let someone scare you
No.
and tell you that if you don't do this,
Oh,
this is
no,
going to happen. That is not someone who is connected to the connected to
And the
the
thing
good.
I said to my young friend was, look, the cards just reflect what you already know. You came here knowing the answer. I just validated, not I, your
Spirit.
connection to spirit validated it. And I said, and also this is just about the energy of it right now. I mean, if you sit back and just say, oh, let it happen to me. No, it depends. I said, you have free will. Your partner has free will. It's up to you what the outcome is.
And that's what we do, Sharon. That's what this community is all about with the readers, is to empower everyone.
Empower you.
Know they have the ability. They already knew the answers. The answers are inside of them. They all have all the gifts already. They just have to start using them. So,
what's so beautiful though is look at this. We did not know we didn't know anybody that's in this in the chat or on this stage.
No.
Yeah.
And we are simpatico.
Yeah.
We also cheer for the other in whatever they do.
Yeah.
And it just warms my heart that I have all of you
Me too.
in my quiver.
Me too.
Thank you so much.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, I will mention before I let you guys go, we had one question.
Okay.
And I'm trying to find it, and I don't know where
What kind of question is it?
let me see.
Only what deck to use.
I have it in the comments. It was, I believe it was from Artist Liz. And Artist Liz, if you can let me know if it was about move and will the financial situation improve.
Okay.
And that I'm trying to remember. Yes, she was the place that she's in. There's problems with pests and so on and so forth. So, let's take a look.
So you want to know? She wants to know if she's moving and her financial situation will.
Yes. Yeah. Will the financial situation improve to the point to allow her to move? How's that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Heavenly Blessed, honey. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, and it was Artist Liz. Perfect. Okay. All righty. Cherry, do you want to start us off?
I got the Knight of Swords. So we're she's looking at some shifts. I mean, there's definitely
You too. Yeah.
Nope.
Wow.
There we go. So there's action taking place, but it may not be in her time frame. Is what I'm getting.
Okay.
And I got step back, Liz, just for now. Step back from that. You're being asked to step back to gain perspective. You're too close to the situation. So get a better perspective on it. And that's what they're saying.
Okay.
Well, you could say the same thing for the Knight of Swords, like don't be impulsive.
Yeah.
Don't run into something without thinking about it. Like I agree, step back. And also hit was you'll be told to hit when the iron is hot. So
Yeah, strike when the iron's hot.
Strike when the iron's hot. That's what I and that's what that's about.
I get the veil of mystery here. So there's some secrets. There's some things that are unknown and hidden that have to do with this. And so when you finally do, check at what was unseen, which, you know, these people, if there were bugs, if it was infested with bugs, make sure that they do not blame you for that. That is not your issue. So anything that is underneath, I want you to get your security deposit back. That's what I'm thinking here. And I want you to know that you may have to fight for it, Liz. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay. I pulled the star.
Oh.
And that is, yes, things are going to work out. I think you are going to be able to find a place that is going to meet your needs and that is going to be within your budget. You just have to be open to looking at things from a different perspective. It may not be in exactly the neighborhood that you want. Oh, and she says they're trying to blame me.
Yeah. Don't let them blame you.
No. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that you've got all your paperwork, all your information at hand, and don't back down. Be ready to go in and say, no, this is what it is. I think I would also want to talk to someone in a position to help you, whether that's whoever looks after your financial needs or whatnot. I would definitely get them involved, because sometimes the last thing that a landlord wants is a government agency looking into their business. So I think
Put it on next door. You could, if you have the app next door.
Mhm.
Oh boy,
There's stuff on there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't even read next door because there's a lot of stuff.
I know.
The health department.
Yes.
Absolutely, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, not your fault.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Not your fault.
Right. That. So anyway, oh my gosh, we are at 1 hour, 2 minutes, which, you know what? That's pretty darn good for
That was very tantalizing conversation. Thank you, ladies.
It was.
Yes, it was.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. And I hope that, we are preaching to the choir, but hopefully there will be other people who are going to see this in replay.
I'm optimistic.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm optimistic.
And maybe it'll give them food for thought, and maybe they'll come back. So don't forget, all of you, like, share, subscribe to all the channels, leave a comment after the video, and help us get out in front of more people so that they'll be
Can I share something real quick?
Yep.
I pulled a card just for the collective for everybody, and it says Upper World, and it's talking about how angels, helpers, ancient guides, everybody is all working to bring us all into harmony together.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
And it just really just hit.
Yep.
Because that was the whole conversation. It was like, oh wow.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. All righty. If you want to know what we're up to, go see our community tabs. We usually post on there what shows we're doing and whatnot. So
I'll be on with Jane the Seeker on her channel tomorrow morning at 9 Pacific.
Perfect. And very quickly, Aley, what have you got?
Usually have my meeting with the mediums on Thursdays, 2:30 Pacific. Yeah.
Perfect. And Val?
I have actually a couple of things. I have Arthur coming on my channel on Thursday. Yes.
Yay.
Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And that's just after Messages for Light Workers, I think. Yeah, after that. So definitely tune in for that. And also I want to let everyone know there's still room in my channeling class, which starts June 8th on Saturday. June 9th is Gerald and I, Tarot Stash, doing our manifestation workshop. And one other thing, Aley and I are doing our psychic mediumship class starting August 3rd, in case you want to sign up for that at
Yeah.
dragonflycrystals.store. Go there and you can see all my classes. But thank you.
Perfect. And Sherry?
Tomorrow night is working on promos and stuff and doing some of my classwork for the couple of classes that I'm doing. And Friday's polyterology. Saturday night late is Night Owl's slumber party, and I have Ramon Moon Scarab's going to be my special guest. And Sunday is Mastering Mental Wellness with Isaac.
I like your tan,
Oh, I love
by the
it.
way. You have a beautiful tan. Yeah.
Excellent. And tomorrow I'll be doing Messages for Lightworkers with Val. And after that show, I've got Kitchen Table Issues with Colleen of the Cool Crone and Cleo the Seer. And anything else, it's on the community tab. So ladies, thank you for a fantastic show. Thank you all for being here with us. And yep, we will catch you next week when Sharon is going to be our guest.
There you go.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Everyone.
Bye.
Bye.